Have you ever heard about the apparitions of Fatima in 1917? Three young shepherds in Portugal witnessed events that would change not only their lives, but also the faith of millions. But did you know that there is a third prophecy so mysterious and controversial that even today it remains a subject of debate and speculation? Today, we are going to dive into the story behind this enigmatic revelation. A priest has decided to break the silence and reveal hidden details about this heavenly message that had been kept under lock and key until now. Are you ready to discover the truth? Stay with us until the end of the video, because the revelations we are going to share could alter your perception of the future and the fate of humanity. Ready for the journey? Let's begin. The story of the apparitions of Fatima. The apparitions of Fatima, which took place in 1917 in the small town of Fatima, Portugal, are one of the most fascinating and debated phenomena in the modern history of the Catholic Church. Three shepherd children, Lucia dos Santos and her cousins Jacinta and Francisco Marto, claimed to have witnessed apparitions of the Virgin Mary, who entrusted them with three secrets, collectively known as the three prophecies of Fatima. During her first apparition on May 13th, the Virgin Mary asked the children to pray the Rosary every day to bring peace to the world and end the Great War. In subsequent apparitions, the Virgin revealed three secrets to the children. The first secret was a vision of hell, intended to show the urgency of conversion and prayer. The second secret spoke of the need to consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary and predicted the end of World War I and the possible prevention of another war during the reign of Pius VI, conditioned on Russia's conversion. These first two prophecies, while unsettling, were quickly revealed to the public and were considered fulfilled over time. The vision of hell served as a warning about the fate of souls without faith, while the second prophecy reflected the political and social events that shook Europe in the first half of the 20th century. However, the third prophecy of Fatima was kept secret by the Church until the year 2000, creating an aura of mystery and speculation that persists to this day. This prophecy describes a vision in which a bishop dressed in white, whom many interpreted to be the Pope, is killed by a group of soldiers while walking over a mountain filled with the bodies of martyrs. Although the Vatican has officially interpreted this vision as a reference to the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II in 1981, many believers and theologians suggest that it could have additional or future interpretations. The importance of the third prophecy lies not only in its dramatic content, but also in its spiritual and political significance within a historical context. Its revelation came at a time when the Church was seeking to reaffirm its message of peace and reconciliation in a post-Cold War world. Religiously, these Marian messages emphasize the need for prayer, penance, and conversion, central elements in Catholic doctrine meant to guide the faithful toward a holier, more spiritually aware life. The persistent relevance of these prophecies, especially the third one, is due to their ability to resonate with humanity's fears and hopes throughout different eras. Every generation, faced with its own challenges and crises, can find in Fatima a reflection of its deepest concerns about war, peace, and faith. Thus, beyond its literal meaning, the third prophecy of Fatima invites reflection on the moral and spiritual direction of contemporary society. In short, the apparitions of Fatima and their prophecies not only form a critical part of the spiritual heritage of the Catholic Church, but also continue to influence global dialogue about faith, ethics, and the future of humanity. With its call for conversion and prayer, Fatima remains a beacon of hope and a warning in times of uncertainty. The priest and his encounter with the prophecy. At the heart of one of the most captivating mysteries of the modern Catholic Church is the figure of a priest whose life and mission are deeply intertwined with the apparitions of Fatima. This clergyman, whom we will call Father Gabriel for privacy reasons, has been a scholar and devout follower of the messages and secrets revealed at Fatima since his youth. His relationship with this Marian event is not only one of faith, but also of a deep personal commitment to spreading and understanding its teachings. Born in a small town near Fatima, Father Gabriel grew up hearing stories about the apparitions and miracles that occurred there. These narratives not only shaped his faith, but also guided his priestly vocation. Over time, his dedication led him to study Marian theology in depth, particularly the mysteries of Fatima. His scholarship and devotion eventually established him as an authority on the subject, to the point where he was invited to participate in various conferences and symposiums dedicated to Marian apparitions. Father Gabriel's life took a decisive turn when he was assigned to the parish of Fatima as part of his ecclesiastical service. This position not only gave him the opportunity to be physically close to the site of the apparitions, but also allowed him to interact with various custodians and theologians who had studied the secrets of Fatima. It was during this period that he established significant connections with several influential members of the religious and academic community who shared a common interest in the prophecies. The opportunity to access privileged information about the third prophecy arose unexpectedly during the restoration of an ancient part of the chapel. Documents and personal writings of Sister Lucia, the principal seer of the apparitions, were discovered, which had not been previously examined. Due to his position and knowledge, Father Gabriel was one of the few selected to review these documents under strict security and confidentiality measures. Among these documents was a series of personal letters and notes from Sister Lucia, detailing conversations and visions that had not been fully disclosed to the public. These writings offered new perspectives and details about the third prophecy, revealing aspects that clarified some of the more ambiguous and controversial interpretations made until then. Father Gabriel's access to this information not only reinforced his already solid reputation as an expert on Fatima, but also placed him in a unique position to influence the public's understanding of the prophecies. Aware of the responsibility that came with this knowledge, he decided to embark on a series of conferences and presentations to responsibly and thoughtfully share the findings he had uncovered. Through his work, Father Gabriel has emphasized the need for a careful and considered interpretation of the messages of Fatima. He has argued that beyond predicting specific events, the apparitions should be understood as an ongoing call to conversion, prayer, and penance. This approach has helped to moderate some of the more extreme speculations and has guided the discussion towards a deeper reflection on the spiritual and ethical significance of the prophecies for the contemporary world. Ultimately, Father Gabriel's contribution to the dialogue about Fatima is not limited to the disclosure of previously unknown information. It also represents a continuous effort to foster a deeper and more nuanced understanding of one of the most intriguing and significant religious phenomena of the 20th century. The priest's revelations about the third prophecy, the mystery surrounding the third prophecy of Fatima, has captivated the imagination and interest of both believers and skeptics for more than a century. Father Gabriel's revelation of previously unknown details sheds light on this enigma and invites a new interpretation of its symbols and literal meanings. In an effort to clarify the prophecy and its relevance, the priest shared information and analysis during a series of talks and writings, each meticulously prepared to educate and enlighten his audience. According to the documents reviewed by Father Gabriel, the third prophecy reveals a vision in which a bishop dressed in white, commonly interpreted as the Pope, suffers martyrdom at the top of a mountain, passing through a city in ruins and surrounded by the bodies of martyrs. This description partially coincides with the official interpretation of the Vatican, which relates the vision to the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II in 1981. However, Father Gabriel suggests that this interpretation may be too limited. The documents also describe additional symbols, such as an angel with a flaming sword, which Sister Lucia indicated symbolizes divine justice and purification. Moreover, lights and thunder are mentioned, symbolizing the presence and voice of God, communicating his discontent and warning to humanity. Father Gabriel's analysis delves deeper into the interpretation of these symbols. The bishop dressed in white not only represents the Pope, but also all spiritual leaders who have faced persecution throughout history for defending truth and morality. The ruined city represents the consequences of the lack of faith and moral corruption in society, suggesting that the ruins are both physical and spiritual. The presence of other martyrs in the vision emphasizes the communion and solidarity among those who have sacrificed their lives for their beliefs, reinforcing the idea that, despite tribulations, faith can sustain individuals and enable them to face even the most severe challenges with courage and conviction. The angel with the flaming sword is particularly significant, as swords have traditionally symbolized both justice and the Word of God in Christian iconography. This element could be interpreted as a call to humanity to heed divine teachings and commandments under the threat of judgment and purification. Father Gabriel emphasizes that these elements should not be viewed solely in an apocalyptic sense, but as metaphors inviting reflection on the need for moral and spiritual renewal. The prophecy, then, is more than just a forewarning of disasters. It is an exhortation to conversion and a return to the ethical principles that should guide humanity. In his revelations, Father Gabriel not only provides keys to better understanding the third prophecy of Fatima, but also invites the faithful and society at large to contemplate its deeper meaning. According to him, the prophecy is not merely a prediction of future calamities, but an urgent call to reflection and change. It serves as a reminder that despite adversities, faith and hope must prevail, guiding societies toward a more just and pious future. This perspective not only clarifies the mystery of the third prophecy, but also reaffirms the role of Marian visions and messages as tools for spiritual guidance and teaching in a world that constantly faces moral and spiritual challenges. Reactions and consequences. Father Gabriel's revelation of previously unknown details about the third prophecy of Fatima has sparked a series of reactions and consequences within the religious community and beyond, affecting believers and skeptics alike. These revelations have renewed interest in the apparitions of Fatima, instigating broad dialogue about their implications for contemporary faith and society. Within the Catholic Church, the revelations have been met with a mixture of astonishment and caution. Some ecclesiastical leaders have applauded Father Gabriel's openness and recognized the importance of openly discussing these messages, seeing them as an opportunity to revitalize the faith among the faithful and reaffirm the relevance of Marian messages in the modern world. In contrast, others have expressed concern about potential misinterpretations or the panic they could provoke, fearing that focusing on the prophecies and more mystical aspects could distract from the core tenets of Christian doctrine, such as love, charity, and forgiveness. Among the general public, the revelations have generated considerable fascination and debate. Social media and online forums have been flooded with theories and speculations about what the new interpretations of the prophecy could mean for the future of humanity. For many, these revelations have served as a call to personal reflection and examination of conscience regarding how they live and what changes they might need to make in their lives. Theology and prophecy experts have provided more nuanced analyses. Some have highlighted the coherence of the new revelations with the Church's traditional teachings on apocalyptic matters, noting that visions of disaster and redemption are not new in Christian doctrine. These experts emphasize that such visions should be understood symbolically, not as literal predictions of future events. A prominent theologian explained in a recent article, the apparitions of Fatima and their messages should be seen as calls to conversion. Throughout history, the Virgin Mary has appeared in times of great need, reminding humanity of the importance of returning to the path of spirituality and ethics. The prophecies are not so much warnings of imminent punishments as reminders of God's mercy and His desire for all to be saved. On the other hand, some specialists in eschatology have suggested that these revelations could be interpreted within a broader context of global religious prophecies, comparing the messages of Fatima with prophecies from other traditions and cultures in search of common patterns and meanings that might be relevant on a more universal scale. The long-term consequences of these revelations are difficult to predict. However, it is clear that they have initiated a new phase of dialogue about the role of prophecies in spiritual and social life. In the academic realm, conferences and symposiums have been scheduled to explore the implications of the new interpretations of the third prophecy in greater depth. In pastoral practice, priests and religious leaders have begun incorporating these themes into their sermons and community discussions, using the prophecies as a tool to address issues of faith, hope, and spiritual renewal. In conclusion, Father Gabriel's revelations about the third prophecy of Fatima have not only stirred the waters of theology and popular faith, but have also opened new avenues for reflection and debate about the fate of humanity and the interpretation of divine signs in our time. Implications for the future. The recent revelations about the third prophecy of Fatima, disclosed by Father Gabriel, have not only shaken the foundations of the religious community, but also raised serious questions about what the future may hold for humanity. These prophecies, when interpreted and understood in a new context, offer both warnings and guidance that may be essential in the times to come. An analysis of these implications reveals not only concerns about possible future events, but also paths towards spiritual renewal and global reconciliation. The vision of a world in turmoil, as described in the prophecy, suggests a call for reflection on the directions we are taking as a society. The symbolism of a bishop dressed in white, walking among ruins and martyrs, can be interpreted as a metaphor for leadership in times of crisis, highlighting the need for strong moral and spiritual guides who can lead humanity through periods of challenge and transformation. Furthermore, the apocalyptic elements of the prophecy should not be seen solely as literal predictions of the end of the world, but rather as warnings about the consequences of ignoring fundamental ethical and spiritual principles. In this sense, the prophecy serves as a catalyst for self-assessment and change, encouraging individuals and nations to more deeply consider the repercussions of their actions on the moral and spiritual fabric of society. For the faithful and viewers seeking to understand and act upon these prophecies, the first step is to approach these revelations not with fear, but with a spirit of wisdom and discernment. It is essential to avoid falling into fatalistic or sensationalist interpretations that could lead to despair or panic. Instead, these prophecies should be used as an opportunity to strengthen faith and reaffirm commitments to spiritual values, education, and deep understanding. It is crucial that those interested approach these texts and their interpretations with a genuine desire to understand their deeper meaning. This may involve participating in Bible studies, conferences, or seminars on eschatology and the Church's teachings regarding revelations and prophecies. Personal and community reflection. The prophecies should serve as a mirror for personal reflection on how each individual contributes to good or evil in the world. In the community, this can translate into open dialogues on how to improve society and collectively address the moral and ethical issues we face. Concrete action inspired by prophecy. Inspired by the message of conversion and penance, the faithful can take concrete steps to improve their lives and those of others. This may include increasing participation in charitable works, promoting peace and social justice, and defending integrity in all areas of public and private life. Prayer and spirituality. Finally, prayer should be the foundation on which the faithful build their response to the prophecies. Through prayer, individuals can seek guidance, strength, and comfort in times of uncertainty, and also intercede for the salvation and renewal of the world. The implications of the revelations about the third prophecy of Fatima are vast and profound, inviting an era of introspection and potential spiritual renewal. By facing these messages, not with fear, but with hope and determination, we can use them as tools to forge a future in which humanity is guided more by compassion, justice, and faith. Want to know more about prophecies? Don't miss our analysis of the shocking predictions of Saint Malachi about Pope Francis. Click on the end screen to explore why these prophecies are so terrifying and impressive. Discover more now.